All right, we got a lot of requests for this video about our snowmobile and kind of how it's set up, why we chose this model and whatnot. So we're going to get into that, but first we're going to go over why a snowmobile versus other methods of transportation on the ice. I think that's very, very important. You know, this machine behind me here, it suits us very well for what we do, but there's a couple of key pieces about it why we prefer a snowmobile. So let's get into it. Why a snowmobile versus other methods of or modes of transportation? Number one is just the efficiency. It's nothing to be on a snowmobile towing your ice house and you can go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour across a lake when you have the right type of snow. You know, you can we fish a lot of big water. We can cover a lot of ground very, very fast and be very efficient with a snowmobile. A four-wheeler or a truck or a tracked Ranger, for example, it's a nightmare when you get lots of snow and slush, and if you get them stuck. Like a snowmobile, you get a snowmobile stuck, like me and a buddy, we can pick this whole machine up and we can move it, right? You're gonna always be able to get these unstuck. I've never had to put a winch on a snowmobile, and I've never got a snowmobile stuck in slush for over an hour. So, you know, the same can't be said for tracked Rangers, you know, four-wheelers, vehicles. You know, just driving wheeled items on the ice, it just makes me cringe. It makes me sick to my stomach to even think about, just because a lot of bad things can happen. Trust me, I know from experience. We've dropped the four-wheeler in before. If those front tires break through, you do not stand a chance at getting that thing out, whether it's a truck or a four-wheeler. A snowmobile, if the front C's kind of drop through, your back end drops through, you crack the throttle, you pop right out of it, right? You know, those are just kind of the main reasons. Number one is just speed. We're very impatient. We fish a lot of big water. I like to cover a lot of ground fast. This Skidoo can do it. And number two is just that safety standpoint. I feel like this is a lot more safe than anything else. So let's get into a little bit about this machine. So why this specific machine? There's a lot of reasons, actually. This is the Skidoo Expedition Extreme 850 E-Tech. So it comes in a 900 Ace and also an 850. I just prefer that 850 E-Tech. It's packing 165 horsepower, which is plenty for what we do, trust me. So, you know, it's a great machine. I think my favorite aspect about it is it is liquid cooled, but it also on the front here has a radiator to cool it down too. So you get the best of both worlds. You know, typically fan cooled snowmobiles, they're a little bit cheaper in price point, but they're not going to have that longevity. They're not going to have that lifespan over many, many years. You know, again, there's probably some of you out there know a lot more than this about this than I do, but you know, 6,000-7,000 miles on a fan cooled snowmobile is getting up there. So you get the best of both worlds. It's liquid, but you also have a radiator. You know, early season, late season on the ice, even out here on Lake Superior, you get big patches where that snow just drifts, right? You have a lot of snow here, but right here it's just glare ice, and we have to go across that glare ice. I don't have to worry about this machine overheating because it has that radiator. So, you know, that's 100% imperative. You know, my second favorite part about this machine is it's a wide track. It's a 20-inch track. It's wider than a standard snowmobile, which means this is going to float over deep snow and deep slush a lot better than a more narrow tracked machine. This whole Skidoo weighs right in at 600 pounds, right? I'm sure with our accessories on here, it's maybe 650, 675. I can drive this in powder and zero concerns. I don't care if the snow is this deep, this machine's gonna go over it, and this machine's gonna pull our Eskimo ice house with all our gear in it with ease, right? In the past, we've run Skidoo backcountries, 800s. You know, it's a great machine, but just the wide track and the wider stance of this Expedition Extreme is truly it's like driving a Cadillac compared to what do we want to call it, a Kia, right? Like, you're going to get down the road with both, but this is so comfortable, so efficient, and it does so well on the ice. So a couple more, it's got a high and low shifter gear here, so for towing a lot of heavy weight, you know, if you need to tow another snowmobile out of the slush, just throw in the low gear, you get all that low end torque, right? We get out, we put it into high, we can go 70, 80 miles an hour, right? So, I mean, this machine truly has everything that we look for in a snowmobile. It's got awesome built-in storage right here. And we have our action packer tote on the back here. So again, this is a lot of what we get a lot of questions on too, our racks. So this is a rack, it's from Electroforge. They're handmade in Two Harbors, Minnesota, fully welded aluminum, powder coated, and built to perform. Like, I've rolled snowmobiles before and these don't break. Like, they're 100% rock solid. It holds our auger, it holds our rods, it holds this action packer. On the other side, I have a chisel mounted here so we can quickly, you know, unhook that chisel, check the ice, put it back. It just enables us to be so efficient on the ice. Mobility is key when you're ice fishing, and it directly relates to your success. The more mobile you can be, the more success you're gonna have. So yeah, that's just kind of a rundown of this machine. So right at 600 pounds, tons and tons of horsepower. You know, even you know, back here, this hitch, it's like built into the frame, right? Like, it's made to tow. Like, this is an absolute workhorse, this machine. And it's a thing of beauty, right? Like, it definitely helps you be more efficient, cover more ground, be more safe, and tow pretty much anything that you'd want. Like, this thing can tow a lot, right? So let's get into a little bit about what we have with us in our action packer on a day-to-day basis on the ice. So in our action packer tote, again, these slide into the frame. I have too much stuff in here, it's kind of heavy, but these just slide in and slide out of our Electroforge snowmobile rack. And when you buy one of these Electroforge snowmobile racks, the action packers come with them. So it's just kind of nice to have this box here that, number one, is not going to fall out. Like, physics just would not let this thing fall out of this rack. And number two, have everything stored, organized. Now, organization is key on the ice. Let's get into a little bit about what we keep in here. First and foremost, a spare belt. Like, I'd highly recommend this. Like, some of the places that we go, like, you're not going to get help, right? You need to be efficient. You need to be able to, you know, do some self-maintenance every now and then. So we have a couple spare belts. Secondly, we have box of pins, right? There's about probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 pins in there. So I think if someone's got 30 or 40 pins on them, like, they've had a bad experience in the past, and I can definitely relate to that. So you can never have too many pins. Pins for your ice house, tow bar, pins that connect to your Skidoo. Like, having a box of pins on you is worth their weight in gold out here on the ice. Next, we have our cord for our heater. I just like to keep this in this box. I know that snow and ice is not going to get in there. You know, it's going to stay dry, stay water and ice free. For, you know, these are for our heat hog heaters. When we do get to a location, it's nice to have a base camp set up with some heat. So next, we have a big plastic tote. In here we have a variety of things. We have extra transducers for our Markhams. We have tools, we have screw-ins for Eskimo pop-ups, we have bubblers for our minnow buckets, and we have camera panners for underwater cameras. This is kind of my toolbox on the ice. Everything's right here. You know, stuff always goes wrong on the ice, right? You're always breaking stuff, you're always losing stuff. Like, ice fishing it's not easy, but having everything with you, everything prepared, ready to go, can truly make your life that much easier. We have extra ion batteries. We have a cordless drill. If you guys are not familiar with the Eskimo attachment for the screw-ins for your pop-ups, buy this, put it on your drill. It'll save you, like, it takes 2 seconds to put one of those screws in. I'm sure a few of you watching this have tried to take those, or I'll just show you here. I've tried to hand screw one of these in, and when it's really cold on hard ice, man, it takes 10 minutes, right? Put this right in here, it takes 2 seconds. So it's nice to keep a drill on you, keep that all rigged up, ready to go when we want to set up a pop-up ice house. Next, what else is in here? We got a bunch of goodies. We have extra gloves, dry hands, imperative on the ice. Markham underwater cameras, pretty cool when you have clear water. It's so fun to watch those fish. We have a Sven saw. You never know when you're going to come across a downed tree on the path, so have a saw on you is very imperative as well. And we have some rope. Who knows if you ever need to, you know, get towed off or tow someone else off, like having some rope on you is nice as well. Net gator, some lights, like, you know, we keep it all in this box, and it just keeps us organized. It keeps us, you know, safe. You know, you can just never have enough gear on you ice fishing, especially in some of the remote areas that we like to go, Lake Superior, you know, a ton up in Ontario. So that's kind of what we keep a little bit of in our action packer. It can vary trip by trip, but that's kind of the core of what we like to have with us. All right, and then on the back of our action packer here, we have rod holders. Man, I cannot tell you how nice it is to have rod holders where you can just simply slide them in, slide them out. Like, we move a lot, right? When we're ice fishing, I like to fish an area for 20 minutes. If nothing, I'm gone, right? Having to pack up all your rods, put them in your rod case, you know, turn down your reel handles, like unbait your hooks, like it's miserable. It's super time consuming. You know, with this, we simply reel up, put our rods in there, and we're gone. It, you know, it's just super nice. It makes us, it truly enables us to be very, very efficient. So you can see that this Skidoo rack, we could have two, a lot of times I have two augers on here. Today out here on Lake Superior, we're, you know, checking ice quite frequently and often. So it's just nice to have a chisel right here. You know, boom, I can check ice, I can put it back, just like that, boom, jump on the Skidoo and we're gone, right? So it's just a great setup from, you know, from the machine to the action packer, just how we have this rigged up. You know, it's pretty ideal, and it suits us very, very well, you know, just for what we do. And a lot of what we do is bigger lakes, backcountry. You know, we like to get out there. We like to get away from people, explore what the wilderness has to offer, hit some big water, and chase some big fish. So yeah, hopefully that was a valuable rundown for you guys on kind of why we use a Skidoo, and why we, you know, have this particular model of Skidoo. Again, there's reasons for everything. So any other questions, just drop them in the comment section below. But yeah, that's just kind of a rundown of our 2022-2023 machine for the ice.